help your child read at home is your child in the beginning phases of reading and you're not sure how to help them, what the most effective way would be to help them. Well, I have 4 tips that I want to share with you. These are my tips as a teacher that I always share with parents on how they can help reinforce what their children are learning in school. And so they're sort of Montessori inspired tips, and I think that they will be helpful for you. So stick around so you can learn what they are so you can help your child read at home. Hi, my name is Rena Etienne, and I'm here to help you grow and learn in your parenting and homeschool journey. So the first tip is to make sure you're reading to your child every day. Of course, we think that when your child starts to read, that means that this is the beginning phases of reading, but actually it is not. It is one of the many phases that they go through in their language development. And so before they actually start forming words to read, early literacy concepts are really key to help them grow into their habit of reading. If you read to them every day, they're going to build this interest and this sort of thirst to want to find out what happens in stories and just sort of that relationship with the books, right? And directly you're going to be helping them become more interested in reading. So that way when they go and they start to read, they already have that connection and they're interested in wanting to do it, and it just helps make the reading phase so much easier. So be sure to read to your child at least once a day. Work it out in a way where you know that it's going to be a complete uninterrupted time where you can dedicate to sitting with your child, reading an entire book, asking them questions like what happened in the story, you know, what happened in the middle and at the end, you know, and just kind of pick their brain about what they retained from the story and let them ask questions. And so that way you can have an open dialogue about what it is that they are, number one, remembering, and two, maybe that you can see if their child is interested in a specific kind of book or not. The idea is to connect with your child and to find something that they are interested in, read with them every day, so that way they are building those early literacy skills at home with you. Tip number 2 is to practice the letter sounds. So in the description, I have shared a link to a video that I've done that goes through the letter sounds. And if you can go through that video and other ones that are like that, that would be great. What I would say is that watch them with your child. You obviously have been out of school for some time and maybe you remember the letter sounds, great for you, but if you don't, revisit them to make sure that you are pronouncing the proper phonetic sound of the letters, right? We want to make sure that we're saying d, not da, or k, not ka, right? So when your child is practicing the letter sounds, they are saying it correctly. So when they go to read, they know the correct sounds of the letters and it'll be easier for them to form the words. Tip number 3 is to practice blending. So once your child has gotten the hang of the letter sounds, they're going to go into a phase of blending, which means that they're going to put those short vowel words together to make a word. So watch this very short clip of a child going through the 3-letter word, sounding out each letter, and then blending it together to read the word. Okay. Ought. Okay, but let's sound it out with the first sound. Ready? Let me see your reading finger. Yes. Ought. But you gotta add your beginning sound. Not. You got it. You'll notice in this video that the child was struggling a little bit with putting the letters together, right, to form the word, and that is perfectly okay. This means that the child is going to practice until they get the hang of blending, just putting the word together. Automatically they're going to see that the word says hug or bug or cat, sat, without having to actually break up the letter sounds, right? So eventually that means that they'll get to that when they have mastered it. But for now, the practice is blending the letters together. So it's key that you, as a parent, don't interfere and give your child the answer. I know it's gonna be a hard struggle because we just want our child to get it, but don't base your child's intelligence on how quickly they learn something. Give them the time to let the brain make the connection, and eventually they will catch on, and then it's smooth sailing from there. But don't rob them of that experience because they need that in order to learn the blending phase, right? So stick with it, be patient with your child. Don't give them the answers. If you need to give them a little bit of help, like in that video, you know, the child got a little bit of help to help form the word, but the answer was not given to the child. So that's something you want to keep in mind. So blending is a practice that your child will have to go through many times until they reach the mastery of just being able to read the word without having to sound out each letter. Tip number 4 is after your child starts to blend and has gotten the hang of it, you are going to use self-readers. Now, you can also use some self-readers in the beginning phases of blending, but it's better to do exercises and use tools like you saw in that short clip, because that way it would just be a short practice and your child will start and finish it and then be able to like walk away or do something else, rather than sitting with this whole self-reader book that they are expected to start the whole book, to start the book and finish it. So like I said, you could use it, but it's better that you use tools, and some of those tools you'll find again in the resources below that you can use for the blending phase. Now for the self-readers, I have a set of books that I love. There are so many other ones out there that I feel that are just as effective, and I have also used them. But one of the self-reader sets that I always refer to parents are the Bob books. These books come in different sets, and inside of the sets there are a series of books. This is book 1 from set 1. So in this book, you'll notice they're all really short sentences, short vowel words. And so the idea, the point of this is that you want to meet your child where they are at their reading skill level, right? You don't want to give them something that's difficult. You want to give them something you know that they can do and you know that they can achieve. And so that indirectly is helping them with their confidence during this journey. So this is why self-readers are helpful, because they are meeting the child where they're at. Once they get the hang of it, then they bump them up to the next level with the next book, and so on. They're basically building on the child to bigger words, to longer sentences and whatnot. So self-readers are going to be a helpful tool that you can use at home to help your child practice reading. Now, when you do self-readers at home, I always like to suggest to use one book. Let's say stick to one book for at least 4 or 5 times. Let your child go through it. Wait to see if your child has gotten the hang of reading, going through the book from start to finish without you. Once you know that they have gotten the hang of it, move on to the next book, and then you continue on like that. But don't just do it one time and then move on to the next one so quickly, because again, you want your child to practice so that they can get the hang of reading and build the skill of reading. So those are my 4 teacher approved tips that I wanted to share with you. I hope that they were helpful. Please be sure to send me a comment or question if you have one. Check out the resource links below so that you can gather some tools to help your child read at home. And remember to be patient with your child. Give them time to read on their own. And you do your job by enforcing the love of reading, by reading every day to them and having those fun experiences with them through literature. And be supportive in allowing your child to feel confident during this reading phase. Thanks for watching. If you want to continue to get more insight from me, Rena Etienne, here at A Little Room to Grow, be sure to subscribe below.